Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back. If you're returning, hi, I love you. It's time for another horror mini movie review. That was so cringy. Okay, so if you are new here and you don't know what the hell it is I'm doing right here, basically, really quick, top tier of my Patreon page, link is in the description if you want to check out all the other perks. You get to request a movie of me to review each month. Last couple months I've been doing it this way in one video as like mini reviews, so that way everybody can request something and everybody is guaranteed that they get a review. Speaking of patrons, again, really quick, I want to give a shout out to my newest patron, who is Randy Oleg. What? If you don't follow Oleg on Instagram, the fuck are you doing? I'll link their Insta in the description. Go follow because it's amazing. It's just amazing. We got a lot to go through today, so I don't know how long of a video this is gonna be. It might be a little bit long, so maybe get cozy, get a coffee, get some tea, get a snack, and let's jump right into this. So the first request I got was from Miko from Muddy Cult Madhouse. I'll link her channel in the description. She requested an anime of me. She's done this before, and I treat it the same way as I do like try an episode, because I may or may not have time to watch a whole anime series in a month, depending on everything else I'm watching. So another follows a young man named Koichi Sakakibara, who transfers to a new school where he finds himself drawn into a mystery involving a mysterious girl and a series of gruesome deaths. The only downfall to me doing like a try an episode sort of thing with this is the first episode just seems like 25 minutes of setup for everything that I imagine happens over the course of the rest of the series. So there are a few creepy scenes, but overall not a whole lot of like scary things happen, because like I said, they're kind of just setting up for everything that's going to happen. I did really like the atmosphere of it though. It kind of reminded me of Pulse, actually, both the original and the American remake, where like the atmosphere was very like dark, dingy, everything is just like crappy and in disrepair, and it's kind of like overcast all the time, you know, like that kind of feel. I don't know why it reminded me of Pulse specifically, but it kind of has that same feel. And as I was watching it, it was like, it kind of reminded me of like this RPG game that I had seen PewDiePie play like forever ago. I had to look it up afterward because it was bugging me. It's Corpse Party is what it reminded me of, which I guess Corpse Party is, the game is based on an anime or a manga or vice versa. I'm not sure which came first. I don't know why. I think maybe it was just like the school setting that kind of reminded me of Corpse Party. Like it had like a lot of the same like imagery, creepy Japanese schoolgirl sort of thing, and really dark, scary hallways. So maybe it just kind of, that's why it reminded me of that. It's pretty likely that I'll finish this. It is only 12 episodes and it's available on Crunchyroll for anyone who is interested. So I might check it out. Next one on the list was requested by Kevin, and it is Demons from 1985. Directed by Lamberto Bava, Demons follows a group of strangers that are invited to a screening of a mysterious movie only to find themselves trapped in the theater with ravenous demons. Honestly, this one was not that bad. For context, again, if you're new here, I'm not usually the biggest fan of the Italian horror movies or the giallo horror movies, so Suspiria is kind of it for me, but this one was really not that bad. I don't know that it really classifies as giallo though, just Italian horror. I really liked that this one had a clear protagonist that we were following. Just for reference, Kevin also suggested that I watch Demons 2, which I did, and I reviewed it just for my patrons. And my big complaint with that one was that there wasn't like one distinct character we were following, or like a group of, there was like multiple groups we were following, and it got really like just chaotic and confusing, as opposed to this one that I really liked, that there was a distinct group that we were following, even though we did bounce around every now and then. Y'all know me, I really like a character to latch onto and follow, so that's just important to me as a as a viewer. The transformation scenes were really cool. The makeup effects on the demons were really cool. They're very like gross, gooey, nasty, and almost like it feels like they should be like neon or something. Like oh, what was that one that I reviewed that Chance requested I watch? The one with like it was like the neon zombie nuns. I feel like it should have been like that. Like it kind of had like that same feel to it. We just needed more like black lights and neon and stuff. Also really like the movie theater setting. It kind of reminded me of the opening of Scream 2, even though obviously demons came long before Scream 2. So overall, for me not really liking Italian horror movies most of the time, this one was not that bad. I'm middle of the road on this. 2.5 out of 5 from me. Next is Vampire Cleanup Department, which was requested by Ben. I'm gonna put the directors' names here for fear of me butchering them. The movie follows Tim, who joins the Vampire Cleanup Department, a secret task force for dealing with vampire attacks. He saves a female vampire from an evil vampire lord and discovers that there may be a better way to rid the world of the vampires rather than killing all of them. I like this well enough. It was funny and it was a clever take not only on just like a vampire movie in general, but the like vampire romance cliche. I don't know if it's a cliche now or just a very popular subgenre, especially in like YA romance novels. The CGI was a little bit cringy for how modern this is. It only came out in 2017, but it wasn't so bad that it ruined the entire movie for me, and I like the way the vampires looked overall, so yeah, not bad. I'm also gonna be middle of the road on this one and give it a 2.5 out of 5. Next is Rock and Roll Nightmare, which was requested of me to watch by Eric, by John Fasano. Rock and Roll Nightmare takes place at a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere where a hopeful hair metal band seeking inspiration for their new album finds themselves in a furious confrontation against the Prince of Darkness himself. Eric. We're gonna have to have a talk, buddy. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, mostly because I feel like everyone should just watch this movie because it's something. It's something. But being as vague as I possibly can, you think the movie is going one way, which is already super cheesy and bad. And then the movie takes a turn, and it somehow takes a turn and yet gets even more cheesy and more bad. And honestly, I still kind of don't know how I feel about this movie. I'm, yeah, just gonna be completely honest here. To be honest, right before the twist hit, I was kind of like drifting away mentally. Like I kind of stopped paying attention for like maybe 10 or 15 minutes beforehand. 'Cause it was just, you know, like the so bad they're funny kind of movies. I can only take so much of them and I kind of start to get bored about halfway through, and that's kind of what was happening. And then the twist hit, and then I just could not take my eyes off the screen. And I don't know if it's in a good way or a bad way. Kind of in the same way, like you just can't help but look at a train wreck. My placeholder rating is gonna be a 2 out of 5 for right now. Gotta be honest, I'm probably gonna have to give this a couple more watches before I definitively, you know, say whether I like it or not. So just take that as you will. So next thing I watched was Splinter, which was requested of me by Azul. Directed by Toby Wilkins, Splinter follows two couples trapped in an isolated gas station by a voracious parasite that transforms its still living victims into deadly hosts. This movie moves fast. Like you get a little bit of character development and then like boom, we are off to the races. Things are getting infected, people are dying. We just jump right into it. But like not only is the story fast, like the attacks from the parasites are also really fast. It's almost kind of annoying because you can't really see a whole lot of what's going on. It's kind of just like a flurry of like quick cuts and like crunching sounds and blood. I feel like is okay for like maybe like the first 1 or 2 kills before you really know what it is that's attacking people. But after a while it just got really annoying and I kind of just wanted the, you know, to stop with like the strobing lights and the quick cuts and like I just wanted to see just a full-on attack You know what I mean? And I also have to be honest, I didn't really like any of the characters. I feel like you get like enough surface level character development in the beginning. Like everyone's kind of a caricature. We have like our escaped convict sort of character, Polly, who's very like outdoorsy and capable. She can change a tire, that sort of character. And then her boyfriend, Seth, who is like super nerdy and not really, it's kind of like a joke in the movie, he's not really good for anything. So, you know, they kind of established that. So, you know, you're kind of thinking like, okay, this is how it's going to be when things go down. But then like they establish that, and then when stuff starts going down, Seth kind of like starts to take charge and be more of a badass, and Polly spends a lot of the time like cowering and crying, which I guess nothing wrong with that, because if you're in a stressful situation, people react differently. But it was just weird that they like established these characteristics in the beginning of the movie and then just completely turned them on their head. I don't know if that was the point. It was just a little bit weird. I don't know if I liked that. The CGI wasn't bad. It's a quick enough movie, and it's like, you know, enough gory kind of crazy stuff happens that this would make a really good like movie night with friends over beer and pizza sort of thing. I'm middle of the road with this one, also a 2.5 out of 5. Then we have Always Shine, which was also requested by Ben. Directed by Sophia Takal, Always Shine follows best friends Anna and Beth on a weekend trip to Big Sur, hopeful to reestablish a bond broken by years of competition and jealousy. I really don't want to go into details about this movie because it's just one of those movies that's best watched if you really don't know much about it. You know, you just go in as blind as you can. It's definitely shocking, and I was definitely glued to the screen for pretty much the entire thing, which was crazy because I really didn't like Anna or Beth at all, but I think that's kind of the point. I will say too, even if you aren't an actress or you're not trying to, you know, make it in Hollywood or anything, there's still something for, I think, most people to relate to in either Anna or Beth, maybe more so Anna. And the way they talk to each other in the beginning of the movie, like the first couple of conversations they have, I have to say that I know this maybe is really weird for me to point out, but the most realistic female to female conversations I've ever heard, like the way they're talking to each other, like when they're in the restaurant and in the car and stuff like that, like sound exactly how my friends and I talk to each other. Again, maybe a really weird thing to point out, but maybe I just took notice of it more so than usual because most female to female conversations in movies, if they happen, aren't that great. Overall, it's awesome. Just go watch it. It's free on Vudu. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to just stop talking about it. 4 out of 5. Next is What Keeps You Alive, which was requested of me by Scuba Steve. Directed by Colin Minihan, What Keeps You Alive takes place in the mountains by a beautiful lake where a venomous betrayal engulfs a married couple attempting to celebrate their 1-year anniversary. So what I'm going to discuss here is probably technically spoilery, but I would argue that this happens within like the first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, so it's not that spoilery. Either way, you have been warned. I've been wanting to see this movie for ages now, so I'm really happy that somebody finally requested it. I do have to admit though, because I was so excited to watch it, I was a little bit let down by the character development in this movie. Just for me, as a viewer, I feel like I was a little bit put off by the fact that they don't really establish Julie and Jackie's relationship. Like, it's really quick. Like, they show up at the cabin, there's like 5 minutes of them, you know, kind of being like lovey-dovey because it's their anniversary, and then stuff already starts happening, and it's like instantly Jackie starts acting weird, and the only reason we know that she's acting weird is because of Julie's reaction to her acting weird. But as a viewer, it's really like jarring because we don't even get a chance to see how she like normally is, how Jackie normally is before she starts acting weird. Does that make sense? Like, it's just off-putting because it's like you're confused because you don't know what normal is for this character. So when they start acting strangely, you don't really get it because this is all you're seeing of them. That makes sense, right? And then it's like, before you know it, again, like I said, within like 20 minutes of the movie, Jackie is a sociopathic serial killer who is trying to kill Julie. So again, I feel like we could have maybe spent a little bit more time, just a teensy bit more time, getting to know Julie and Jackie's relationship, at least how Julie perceived it, before they pull the rug out from under you and are like, no, Jackie is a serial killer. And then the only time you actually get to see what Jackie was like beforehand was after that reveal in flashbacks. So it's, I don't know, it was just like, I didn't like the way they did that. It was just a personal preference. I just wasn't a fan of that. On top of that, there were other things. Again, it was just kind of like backwards, the way they revealed it. So these two things that I'm about to kind of describe don't really come into play until the very end of the movie. And I mean the very end of the movie. But they don't establish these things earlier on in the movie. So again, it just seems weird and like they come out of nowhere, and it's just thrown in there for convenience rather than being being set up earlier. I don't know if anything I'm saying is making sense. If you've seen the movie, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But two things that just kind of come out of nowhere are like Julie's knowledge of medical things. You don't know how she has this. I don't know if she's a student. I don't know if she's like a vet. She's a doctor or nurse. We don't know. And it just kind of comes out of nowhere that she has this medical knowledge that helps her, spoiler alert, kill Jackie in the end. I won't go, I guess I'll just go ahead and not spoil how she does, but it's because of her medical knowledge that she's able to do this. And also because Jackie is a drug user. I think that's what she is. I think she's using drugs, like when she's injecting that stuff into her stomach. I'm really naive on a lot of things, you guys, so I don't know if those were supposed to be drugs or what. None of these things come up until the very end, right when they need them, right when the filmmakers need them to come up. Where I feel like they could have established it maybe just like a little early on and like hinted at things, and then you're kind of like, oh shit, that's gonna be your downfall or something. I don't know. I was a little disappointed by that. Seemed like the movie was a little backwards. So that all kind of sucked because I enjoyed the whole rest of the movie. I thought like the premise was great. I thought Jackie was super scary as a serial killer, for real. Like her walking through the woods and like pretending to like be like crying and calling out for Julie, and then just watching her like expression change like right in the middle of that was really, I loved it. She was terrifying. So because of that though, I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 5. Lastly is Little Monsters, which was requested by Felix, aka Raiders AK. Directed by Abe Forsyth, Little Monsters follows a washed up musician who is chaperoning his nephew's kindergarten field trip and must team up with the teacher to keep the kids safe during a zombie virus outbreak. So Felix, well done. Good choice. I did really want to see this movie anyway. I talked about it at the very beginning of this year. I was super excited for this one. Felix and I have this kind of special relationship where whatever I love, Felix hates, and vice versa, which just ends up seeming really funny because he's nice enough to be a patron of mine, even though he very vocally hates my favorite movie of all time. We disagree on a lot of movies, so it's really rare. This isn't the first time this has happened, but I can probably count on one hand the number of times Felix and I have agreed on a movie. So the fact that he recommended this one, good job. I loved the movie, as you could probably tell me hinting at. I loved this movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was so adorable. And I'm like one of those people, I don't want kids. I can only stand kids for a very short period of time before I'm just like gotta remove myself from the situation. But these kids were adorable, especially Felix. Like Felix in the movie, because the little kid is also named Felix. Adorable, especially when he was like in his Darth Vader costume and you know, pretending to use the Force and using that putt-putt club as like a lightsaber. Loved it, so cute. And I love the character arc of Dave, Felix's uncle, who when the movie starts out, I don't know about anybody else, but I fucking hated him. Like He was so annoying, such an asshole. That's the point, because he threw the zombie outbreak and him having to help protect these kindergartners finally kind of steps up a little bit and becomes a better person, which is the whole point of the movie. So, and Lupita Nyong'o as Miss Caroline, the kindergarten teacher, was awesome. She was also adorable, and you know, definitely like a 180 from her characters, I should say, in Us. But you do get a little bit of badassery in this movie also from Miss Lupita. And kind of on a related note, I would just like to personally start a petition to ensure that Lupita Nyong'o is in at least one horror movie every single year, because it's just my personal belief that that kind of awesome will end world hunger, stop global warming, and just bring about worldwide peace. So, so the movie was hilarious, nice amount of gore, a little bit heartwarming. I loved it. I thought it was great. 5 out of 5. Yeah, this was kind of a long video. I had so many like crazy varied suggestions, or requests I should say, from my patrons this month. Like, damn, you guys kind of killed it. So if you've seen any of the movies or anime that I talked about in this video, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I almost said in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video. Maybe it'll work. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, stay strange. Bye! This video is brought to you by all these lovely creepy patron peeps that you see listed here. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep yourself, you can check out that link in the description. There's a whole bunch of fun links in the description, so you can follow me on all my social media, Goodreads, Letterboxd, all that good stuff. So make sure you check out the description box. Thanks for watching. I love you. Bye!